to another penny stock video, and this time we're going to be taking a look at probably one of the most exciting mergers that has actually been executed all year in the OTC. This stock has already been performing tremendously well, but it's still a tiny market cap here. And so there's actually significant fundamentals underlying in this stock that can tell you, right, that there's a much higher potential price target we could be looking at with this. So the stock is, of course, as you can see right here, BLFR, Blue Fire Equipment Corp. And what happened is they recently had a big oil and gas merger come into this ticker as of last week, and it's been performing tremendously well. But if we look at the chart, you can see it's gone pretty much straight up, and you might be thinking, oh, well, BLFR is done, right? It's already pumped. However, what's unique about BLFR is it actually has very significant underlying fundamentals that tell us that this market cap of 2.3 million is still tiny for this stock. And we're going to be taking a look at why and why this could have genuine potential to see. I mean, we could honestly perhaps see $1 here. I'm not saying tomorrow, but I think over time, as people understand the value that's been brought in through this merger, you could see significantly higher prices than what it is now. So, let's take a look at what has happened. Let's take a look at their recent press release here, which really does a great job of outlining the value that's been brought into this ticker through the merger. And so we can see here that they've acquired or merged with a specialist in emerging industry acquisitions, right? Announces the 90% acquisition of Screaming Eagle Partners, LLC, a cash flow positive family-owned oil and gas company in the state of Texas. Who is Screaming Eagle? Screaming Eagle holds a 90% ownership interest in Screaming Eagle BNRJV LLC, formed in the year 2022, along with Buffalo XXII Operating LLC, which holds the remaining 10% interest. So they've essentially merged with 90% or acquired 90% of this Screaming Eagle venture into BLFR. And we can see here the JV owns existing wells purchased from prior operators in the Fort Trinidad field with stacked pay zones near Madisonville, Texas, which produces 5,950. We're just going to go ahead and round that up to 6,000 barrels of oil per month and 17,800 MCF per month in natural gas. The JV will increase production during the next 6 months by executing a 3-well horizontal sidetrack drilling program and an 11-well workover program on existing wells. Here's some more information and numbers. You can see future net income. Future net income, guys, from total all reserves is $142 million. $142 million from the reserves that they're bringing in to this ticker. What's the market cap again? Oh, right, 2.3 million. When you talk about value and value plays and fundamental plays, it pretty much does not get any better than this. I mean, what they've brought into this ticker at such a low market cap is really unique. You're not going to see this every day, guys. And I've talked about this in videos before, but when you have these unique opportunities, these are the ones you need to jump on. When something happens in OTC that's significant like this, you cannot take it for granted. You have to take advantage of the opportunity because this is a merger. This high quality of a merger, we might not see it for another 2 years. We could go 2 years without seeing a merger this good in OTC. So really take advantage of these opportunities. I really want to stress that. And you can see during the year ended December 31st, 2022, Screaming Eagle generated revenues of approximately $4 million, net of royalties and taxes, with a net operating income of about $1 million, and total assets of $8.3 million. Okay, so huge fundamental value here right off the bat. Just from the oil that they're already tapping, they're significantly undervalued. And if we look at the future net income, then they're really undervalued, right? So let's do a little math here to see what they're going to be bringing in right now. Because right now they're producing the 6,000 barrels of oil. Well, here's our oil prices. And here's our chart for WTI crude. And let's hope it loads here. There we go. And we can see that oil's bouncing around between $85 and $90 a barrel. So oil's very strong right now. And so if we take the math here and we do 6,000 barrels per day, I'm sorry, 6,000 barrels per month, right? Clear this out. We're going to do 6,000 barrels per month. Nope, I was pressing the wrong button. That's why. We're going to do 6,000 barrels per month times 12. Or I'm sorry, we're going to do 6,000 barrels per month times $90 average price of oil right now, right? That gets us $540,000. Then we're going to take $540,000. We're going to multiply that by 12. And you're looking at about $6.5 million from the current amount of oil that they're bringing in right now, which is about 3 times the current market cap of the ticker. So this is actually trading at a negative multiple, which means there's really huge value to be presented here with this merger. And there's a reason it's getting so much hype and attention and the price is going up so quickly, because people are catching on quite fast that it's significantly undervalued. So let's take a look at their Twitter, because the company is active on Twitter, and I love companies that communicate actively because that provides us with more and more catalysts every day. So they have images of the operations here. If we take a look, here's some of their operations. We can see, again, they are cash flow positive already, which is always nice. They recently regained pink current status on just October 19th. So you have to be aware of this, right? Because a lot of people can't even buy tickers that aren't pink current. So the price may have been lower when it was pink current, but most people realistically got into this stock at an entry of between 2 cents and 6 cents after it became pink current. That's when it was available to most investors. So if you consider that, it actually hasn't run that much from most people's entries, right? And then we can see there's our reserve study, which was mentioned in the press release as well. Wells valued at $96.5 million and $142 million in future net income. Again, amazing fundamentals here for the market cap. You can see there's the merger agreement. They've even uploaded the bill of sale here and everything. So they're really by the book. They're doing everything correctly. They're being very communicative. And they've presented everything quite nicely to the investor public. So follow them on Twitter at OTC_BLFR, and they're pretty much posting new information almost every day. So very much worth following them to see what's going on. And then we have a great due diligence thread here from my good friend Tradeify on Twitter. Go follow him as well at Tradeify3. And he's put together a ton of due diligence here into this thread. So let's just go through all of this because it's really going to encapsulate everything going on with BLFR right now. So here he talks about that it did regain pink current status, like we just talked about on 1019. And he says this as well, the price was already above 0.02, as high as 0.06 on the day of going pink current. So a lot of people actually probably bought over 0.06 as well if they didn't catch it on that very first day. So you have to keep that in mind to understand that it's not too late to get in, right? Most people are getting in now as well. And then here he talks about they expect to acquire an additional 1,800 barrels per day in Q4 2023 through the acquisition of another blue chip producing asset in Texas with shale and Austin Chalk producing formations. That's key as well. This is our forward-looking catalyst. And I've talked about in every video how important having a forward-looking catalyst is. It gives investors a thing to look forward to, and it can really continue to drive that price further when there is a forward-looking catalyst. In this case, we have quite a significant forward-looking catalyst that's happening in this quarter. So a near-term forward-looking catalyst creates more speculation about how this company can grow from there. That's excellent for traders and investors alike. And it keeps this story going because we love stories, and that's what drives these stocks. Here he talks about what feels different in this merger is the effort of the CEO has been made in being transparent with shareholders. So we just talked about that as well by showing you their Twitter profile about how communicative they have been and how consistently they're updating and showing everybody all of the transparent information. And here he talks about the deal is about as shareholder friendly as you could ask for, with preferred Series B having voting rights and companies owners having control blocks. If converted, it's only 1-to-1, 48 million shares in total. 32 million share structure will be decreased by 18 million. So they're actually decreasing the shares, and it's already a small float. If we take a look at the float, it's already only a 12 million float. So it's a very small float to begin with, and they're going to try and be canceling about half of those shares. So that's a massive catalyst in itself. And the deal was through preferred Series B shares, so it's not like they're handing out dilutive shares to do this acquisition. It's actually completely non-dilutive, this acquisition. Here he talks about some of the hard assets, which we already discussed from the press release. Here's Buffalo Natural Resources, LLC, which is the company that owns the other 10% of this joint venture. And you can see that Buffalo XXII is a growth-oriented company focusing on acquiring, developing, operating, and optimizing oil, natural gas liquids throughout the state of Texas. They've been around quite a while. They know what they're doing, so it's always nice to have a very professional oil company behind this. Here he talks about solid board members and experience in the industry, right? So we can see Mr. Crafts is a former tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go Birds. That's my team. So it's awesome to see that he's involved. His leadership extended to marketing roles as Coors Light and Coca-Cola 2007 to 2009 before moving to medicine, founding Blue Diamond Med Spa in 2012 and Black Diamond Med Spa in 2015. He also opened a successful coaching practice, Coach Crafts LLC, partnered with pharmacies and labs to boost medical clinic services. And then we have Kirk Yerriger, has over 20 years in the oil field industry, previously CEO at Stewart Pressure Control. He led the company from $9 million to over $100 million annually. So that is a massive feat. We have this guy in place here that's an oil expert. And then we have Jonas Crafts, who is obviously a pretty successful entrepreneur, launching multiple businesses himself. So really, really strong leadership here. He was also, Mr. Yerriger was also a lieutenant in the U.S. Navy, right? So these guys totally know what they're doing. Excellent leadership for an OTC stock. Always great to see experienced professionals coming on board of these OTC companies. Talks a bit more about the projected value of the wells, which we've already discussed, is $142 million in future net income, $65 million in present value. Or I'm sorry, $96 million in present value. And if we keep scrolling through this due diligence, we can see that almost everything just looks completely excellent about this company. It's one of the greatest value plays we have now in the OTC, and one of the most real and exciting mergers we've seen probably all year. In fact, this might actually be the best merger in terms of true value that we've seen all year in the OTC. So it's really great to see this, plus with the share cancellations coming as well as an audit is planned, as you can see here. BLFR's short-term plan, engage a firm to plan and assist on working towards uplisting to NASDAQ, which includes engaging a PCAOB auditor. So they want to uplist to NASDAQ as well. They're canceling the shares. They have a tiny float. They have a tiny market cap, and they have tremendous value in these wells. Guys, what's going on here? Is it me, or did we just get the best merger all year? So 0.15, it may look like the stock is run, but again, this is a $2.3 million market cap, folks, with a tiny float. BLFR, I think, has significant upside from here. We're talking about, it's trading at basically a negative PE right now. I mean, even after this run, it's still completely undervalued based on what's coming into this ticker, right? So definitely keep this one on watch. I expect it to be a runner throughout the year and into 2024. I think this is one of the most exciting OTC plays there is right now, and I very much look forward to how far it can go. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Give Tradeify here at Tradeify3 on Twitter a follow, because he has excellent DD that he's been posting about this company. Thanks again, and I will see you next time.